Hello, I'm so glad to have you here with me. I'm Mickey Zeta, and this is Sunday Night Wine with Mickey. I have a nice little glass of wine here. If you brought a glass of wine too, that's great, or a bottle of water, your favorite soft drink, an adult beverage, whatever. I'm glad you're here to spend a few minutes with me this evening. So here's what I'm going to talk about. I love, and I've always remembered, this quote. It was actually credited to Gloria Steinem, and it's a woman without a man is like a fish without a bicycle. A woman without a man is like a fish without a bicycle. So I've always, it's catchy. I thought it was cool. I've always credited Gloria Steinem with that, but I found out this afternoon it actually was spoken by a woman in Sydney, Australia, who was a student in Sydney at a university there. And her name was Irina Dunn, and that was in 1970. 1970. So that quote has been around a long time. And of course, it was during women's liberation, and back then I was kind of a libber. I was young, I was 20 in 1970. And those of you listening, if you even remember, I hope you remember that quote because I think it's cool and it's fun to think about because it applies to so many different things. Hi, Lisa, glad to have you here. Hi, Al. So, a woman without a man is like a fish without a bicycle. Now, back in the 70s, that was probably a lot more dramatic. It was probably a lot more radical than how I've taken it over these years. And all I think that it means, well, let me back up. I, in the 70s, was a pretty codependent woman. I was young. I had been married for 2 years at that point. I was married to an abuser. At that point, he was not physically abusive. He was emotionally, and he was very controlling, very controlling. And so, and that fit me because I was I was very codependent. I was not very independent at all. I thought that I needed a man. I thought that, when I was growing up, you know what the thing I wanted to be when I grew up? I wanted to be married when I was 16. That was my goal, to be married when I was 16. Now, I hardly started dating. Well, I guess I was probably 14, 15 when I started dating. But I was married when I was 18. And that's kind of always been my goal. I guess I was raised that way. I'm not proud of that fact, but that's what it was. I hope that women today have better goals, and I'm trying to encourage my granddaughters and even my grandsons to know that there are other options, that there are great options. Anyway, I thought that I had to have a man in my life. I thought that I had to have that. I wasn't complete if I wasn't dating somebody or seriously dating somebody or somebody loved me or that I was in a relationship. I didn't think I was enough. In my head, I was not enough. I was not smart enough. I was not good looking enough. I was not clever enough. I was not smart enough. I was definitely not smart enough. When I graduated high school, I thought I was retarded. So I really was not a woman with any confidence. I had no confidence at that time. So I thought I had to have a man. I thought I couldn't make it on my own. That's what I did. I glommed onto men. And not the right men either. But think about it. You hear me say all the time, if we don't change, nothing changes. And at that point, no good men were really going to be attracted to me. The ones who were going to be attracted to me are the ones who were controllers, who wanted to create victims. And I was the perfect person for that. That's who I was back then. I was the person who had to have a companion right with me. I was kind of glommed on. And I guess that's how I was raised. I guess that's what I was taught. It doesn't matter what the reasons were. That was my reality. So fast forward until I was 53. At 53, I finally realized, you know what? I've lost me. I don't know who I am. I might as well be a fish riding a bicycle because that's how lost I was. And so then what I did was just go forward and figure out that who I was. I figured out who I was. It took me a long time. But that's how I look at that women's lib statement. A woman without a man is like a fish without a bicycle. Because we have to figure out that we can rely on ourselves. I had never lived alone till I was 53. I'd never been on my own. I'd never been totally responsible for my own finances, for my own decisions. I didn't know what I liked. I didn't know who I was. I didn't know anything. And that worked for me at the time. That worked for me at the time. But I'm happy to know, and I'm happy to say that I came through that. And now I get that women don't need men. And, well, let me take that back. That didn't sound right. Women, of course, need men, or they need a partner. They need someone to share their life with. Not everybody does. Not everybody does, but I'm a woman who likes male companionship. So what's really different and what you need to think about is, who are you? Who are you? Because you're not going to attract who you want. You're going to attract who you are. So if you're not a confident, if you're not a solid person, if you don't know what you think, if you don't know who you are, you're not going to be attracted to, and you're not going to attract men who know who they are, men who are caring and loving and not wanting to control you, not wanting to be in charge, not wanting to make all the decisions, not telling you you're stupid, not telling you that you're not competent, that you're not pretty. You need a man who wants all that stuff for you. That's who you need to be, and that's who I hope you are. And then you are going to be a person who attracts exactly the right kind of person, the right kind of partner, the right kind of spouse, or person to date if you don't want to get married. So that's what I'm talking about tonight. I'm going to encourage you to embrace who you are. Embrace that you're not normal, air quotes, normal. I'm not normal. I don't know anybody who is. Whatever normal is, I like to be kind of on the outside edge. I like to do things that are new. Podcasting is one of those things. I like to try things I hadn't done before. And that's part of the excitement of life. I'm so glad that I figured out who I was so that I would attract the kind and loving and generous husband that I have now. He would not have been interested in me if I was the person I was 16, 17 years ago. It took me a long time to figure out who I am. Not 17 years, but it took me 5 or 6 or 7. And that's just how it was. So, there you go. Women, we are competent. We are strong. We are beautiful. We can do whatever we want. We can live our own lives by ourselves and manage wonderful, wonderful lives. Or we can choose to be part of a couple. But make sure it's a healthy couple. Make sure that you're part of a situation that's healthy for you. Not somebody who wants to dominate. Not someone who's mean. Not someone who threatens you. Not someone who uses verbal and emotional abuse against you. That is horrible, horrible. Not someone who's got violent tendencies. So when we change ourselves, we don't attract those people anymore. And that's a choice. That's a choice that we make, and it's a choice that I made. I'm so glad that I did. I can zealously say, I love the life I've created. I love my life. I hope that you can say that too. And if you can't say it yet, I hope you get to that point, because it's remarkable. I spent 34 years in abuse. I stayed way too long at the dance, I say. But you know what? I came through that. I learned my lessons. And now I'm sharing those lessons with my community of Surviving Abuse Network. My webpage is survivingabusenetwork.com. And you can listen to other live videos there, posts, blog posts and messages, articles that I've written, and you can watch podcasts. I podcast weekly. My podcast is called Surviving Abuse Podcast. So please go to my webpage, survivingabusenetwork.com, download whatever you want to listen to. It's all free. And I'm going to encourage you, I belong to Patreon. I have a Patreon, Patreon, patreon.com. It's a terrific organization that helps support people who are living their missions like I am, who are providing information and advocacy to whatever their passion is. Mine, of course, is women living in abuse. So if you would please go to patreon.com/Surviving Abuse Network. Check it out. I have a lot of information there about who I am and what I do, and I would very much appreciate your support so that I can move forward doing more and more things to help support this community of abuse, domestic abuse survivors. I'm Mickey Zeta. I'm so glad you're here. Here's a cheer to you for a fabulous, fabulous week. I hope you've had a good weekend, and I hope that the upcoming week is just absolutely phenomenal. I love my life with my confident, strong wife. That's my husband, Alan. Oh my gosh, I would not have attracted this wonderful man if I was still who I was before. So I appreciate your support, Alan. You're amazing. All right, thank you everybody. Thank you for being here. I'll be back on Wednesday Night Live with Mickey. Please share this video and share my webpage, survivingabusenetwork.com, and go to Patreon, patreon.com/Surviving Abuse Network. And hey, Alyssa, glad to have you here. I'm pretty much wrapping up now. I keep this one relatively short, but you can listen to it recorded. I'm so happy to have you here. Alyssa's part of a group called The Warriors, and a Facebook page. Oh my gosh, she's amazing. She and her mom, Teresa Smith, and I love their group. I love that so many of their group is participating in mine too. So thank you for being here. I am so happy. I'm so happy to be doing what I do. It's fun to provide personal growth for women who are on a personal growth path, that we can become whoever we want to be. We get to choose our lives. And so I hope that you choose a confident, strong path, that you live your authentic life, not a life somebody else chose for you, not a life where other people tell you who you are, what you think, or where you can go, or what you have to wear. That's not a good life. So make a choice to live your authentic life. Nothing is better than that. So I'm going to say again, a woman without a man is like a fish without a bicycle. But men are fun to have around. When we are healthy and we're strong and vibrant women, we attract healthy, strong, vibrant men and partners. And man, it's so much fun. It is so much fun. So thank you for being here. I'll be back on Wednesday night. Please check out my website, survivingabusenetwork.com. Thank you.